What's up everybody, and welcome to Retro Gaming Challenges. My name is Keith, and today's video we're looking back at one of the biggest, most ambitious, and frankly, most time-consuming JRPGs ever released on the PlayStation 1. That is Dragon Quest V, 6, no, 7, Fragments of the Forgotten Past. This is a perfect time to look back at the original. As many of you may know, Square Enix has revealed that a full, comprehensive remake of Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is scheduled for release in early 2026. That new version promises to streamline the famously slow start and update the dated visuals. So as we look forward to the future of this epic story, it's the perfect moment to look back at the original PS1 game and examine the monumental challenge presented to players back in 2001. This was the first Dragon Quest game to be released outside of Japan on a non-Nintendo console, and it was massive. We're talking over 100 hours for a standard playthrough, a deep class system, and a unique time travel plot powered by magical map Fragments. But it had its flaws: an infamously slow start, a huge required grind, and visuals that were already dated when it hit the Western stores. Let's break down the challenge of this classic JRPG and see if the original experience is still worth the time and investment today. Part 1. The monumental scope and the slowest start ever. Dragon Quest VII was developed by Heartbeat and Arte Piazza and produced by the series creator of Yuji Horii. All the classic art and character designs were recorded by Akira Toriyama. The scope of the game is its single most defining feature. The premise? The world that wasn't. The game starts on a tiny island of Estard, the only piece of the land in the entire world. Your hero and his best friend, Prince Kiefer, like Keith, but Kiefer, discover ancient ruins that allow them to travel to the distant past. The true genius of this game lies in its structure. Each time you jump into the past and solve a local devastating problem, such as defeating a local tyrant or saving a village from a monster, that landmass is then resurrected and appears in the present day. You literally rebuild the world one fragmented island at a time. This clever plot device allows the game to present dozens of distinct, self-contained narratives, each feeling like a full mini RPG. However, getting to the good part is the first major challenge. Dragon Quest VII is notorious for its slow introduction. The game takes a reported 7 to 10 hours of playtime before the first random encounter even occurs. The beginning is a series of fetch quests, puzzles, and non-combat exploration on Estard designed to build atmosphere and character development. While some fans love this and love this slow burn, calling it a masterclass in any world building, many players simply give up, frustrated by the lack of traditional JRPG progress. The initial pace problem is precisely what the 2026 remakes is attempting to fix. When the game finally arrived in the West in 2001, it was visually outdated. It combined polygon 3D environments with 2D sprite characters, a graphical style that fell generations behind contemporary titles such as Final Fantasy X, which was released the same year. This dated look, combined with a slow start, created a difficult initial impression for many players. Once the game finally opens up and the combat is introduced, the true challenge of its deep mechanics becomes apparent. This game brought back and massively expanded the vocation or job system, a hallmark of the Dragon Quest series. Every character chose a job, so a warrior, a magi, a thief, a priest, etc., and mastered it by completing a set number of battles. Mastering a basic job unlocks advanced jobs like paladin, gladiator, or sage. Eventually, you can even unlock monster vocations, which, having this, transform your characters into creatures like slimes and golems. The customization is immense, allowing for a huge range of tactical party compositions. The vocation system is a double-edged sword that demands a colossal time commitment. To master a job, you must engage in countless battles. While the combat is traditional first-person turn-based Dragon Quest fun, the sheer volume of required grinding is the game's core challenge. To reach the top-tier vocations and unlock the powerful hybrid skills, players are often forced into hours and hours and hours and hours of repetitive encounters. This grind is not just for levels, but more specifically for job experience, adding a layer of dedication that often feels mandatory for surviving later boss fights. This is a game where preparation often looks twice as long as the original boss encounter. One of the game's enduring strengths, though, is the dialogue. Party chat was added, allowing characters to comment on battles, puzzles, and plot points, adding life to the long adventure. Furthermore, the episodic nature of the plot, the dozens of fragmented island stories, provides incredible variety. Each story is self-contained and often tackles genuinely dark and emotional themes, from plagues and slavery to environmental disaster. This narrative density is what kept players going through the slow progression, rewarding their patience with complex and often sorrowful episodes. Despite its flaws, the PS version of Dragon Quest VII holds a special place in JRPG history. The legendary playtime of over 100 hours is not just due to grinding, it's due to the sheer volume of the content. The world map, once rebuilt, is absolutely massive. There are hidden dungeons, there's optional islands, and the vast monster park where you can capture and breed the enemies is amazing. The dedication required to 100% this game is truly a challenge worthy of Retro Gaming Challenger's mantle. It was the last game released on the PS1 to feature a lengthy multi-disc release in the West, truly pushing the limits of the CD format. The game's Western release in 2001, titled Dragon Warrior 7, was notorious for a rushed and rough localization. Item names were often abbreviated, and the dialogue was sometimes awkward or incomplete, a stark contrast to the brilliant localization the series is known for today. This rough translation added an unintentional layer of difficulty and confusion for many non-Japanese players, further solidifying the original PS1 experience as a true challenge. The fact that a major remake is coming in 2026 confirms the power of the original's core version. Dragon Quest VII's plot, the time travel, the episodic tragedies, the massive vocation system was always a diamond. The remake will likely keep the plot intact while polishing away the rough edges like the slow pace and the dated visuals by adding features like visible enemies and a streamlined progression. Who knows though, we'll see when it comes out. This means the original PS1 game will forever stand as the definitive Retro Gaming Challenge version. Dragon Quest VII on the PS1 is a game that tests the limits of dedication. It is slow, it is long, requires commitment to the grind, but for those who persevered through the first 10 hours and mastered the vocation system, the reward was an epic, sprawling adventure filled with some of the most memorable and heartfelt short stories in JRPG history. If you want the purest, most uncompromising version of the classic saga before the new reimagined version arrives, the PS1 disc awaits you. Good luck, you'll need all the hours that you can spare. Thanks for tuning in to this retrospective. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not drop a comment below? Drop us a comment about your memories of the game, and then head over and have another retrospective look at some other gaming classics on this channel. But until next time, see ya.